And that came through Chapel Hill, U2, that changed my life, and it's the whole reason why I'm doing what I do today, because I was so inspired by them and their music. And ironically, the small world story of this is that within a year or two, I was following them so closely that I was starting to subscribe to their fanzines and shit like that, and went in one of their the band's like sort of official magazine. In the back it said, hey, if you want to correspond with other fans, here are some people who run U2 fanzines, and there happened to be one in Charlotte. So I wrote and subscribed to it, and it was a little fanzine called U2 USA, and I thought, wow, somebody else in Charlotte gives a shit about them as much as me. That's pretty cool. So I started reading it pretty regularly, and it just so happened that the guy that started and ran that fanzine was named Fred Mills. And
you can't have your money back, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we didn't know each other then, but you know, a couple of decades later, as I'm working at Yep Rock Records and Fred was working for Blurt Magazine, we eventually became friends because we did a lot together at South by Southwest. And many years later, I started working with Blurt, and Fred was the editor for that, and we became very quick friends. And 4 years ago, he was living in Asheville at this point. 4 years ago, when I bought Schoolkids, I called him up. This is the small world story of how this all turns around. I called him up, and I said, man, I got something to tell you really interesting. I've been talking to Mike about buying Schoolkids because he was going to close the store, and I didn't want to see that happen. And he's like, you're kidding. And I said, no. He said, you're not going to believe this, but Allison his wife just got a job offer to move to Raleigh. And I was like, this is meant to be. And so about 4 years ago, he came in and helped me sort of, you know, with a full plan and understanding of what we wanted to do with Schoolkids Records, and to try and, you know, try to bring it back, you know, its prominence in the local community. My plan back then was to have a bar in the store, and here we are. We're all doing it right now.
Mission accomplished!
Mission accomplished. And also the other goal was to have a store on the other side of the triangle as well, an area that means just as much to me in Durham and Chapel Hill. And you know, Schoolkids had a long history there as well, and I felt like it was important for the name and the brand to get back into that community. And what's happening in Durham right now especially is amazing, and so I just opened that store back up in March. And the point is of all this is that none of this would be possible if it wasn't for that guy right there. The way that it worked out, for him to be here in Raleigh and help me run the store and give me the freedom to explore these opportunities and these ideas. And you know, there were days where I was over here with Van Alsten and this guy's building this bar, and he was running the store in Hillsborough Street, and if I didn't have somebody doing that, I never would have been able to do this shit, you know. So, and the same thing with Durham, I would have never had that opportunity to have another store there. So tonight is Fred's last night here, and we're gonna miss him. He's moving back to Asheville with his family. His wife got a great job up there. We're very happy for him for that, but obviously the impact that he's brought into this store would not be where it is, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for Fred. So I wanted to, he's modest and doesn't want to draw any attention to himself, but fuck that. We're gonna draw attention to him right now. You know, you need it. You deserve it, man. And you're always a part of this family here, always. And I don't want to mess up any of your stuff here, but your pedals or anything, but Dave had this great idea of getting everybody together for a photo.
Yeah. Okay.
With Fred. We want to preserve this moment. So get over here.
Stand up front.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. This is hard. You know, we're like brothers, and it's hard for him to be leaving, but you know.
A man walks into a bar. A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says, "You want a long face."
I don't know. Is the horse not feeling sticking?
What's up? All right, so we want to do a photo?
Yes, absolutely.